There ain't nothing wrong with me that you can't fix. There ain't nothing wrong with me.
Hey, I'm Brad Maule, and this is Made in Nacogdoches, and today we have a very special guest, a friend of mine, Jeff Apt. Hi, Jeff.
Hello. Good to be here.
Good.
Yeah.
Let the people find out who you are. Can you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Well, who am I? Primarily, I'm my wife's husband.
Yeah.
And a father, and I've got
How many children?
two daughters and 6 grandchildren.
Wow.
There you go. That's primary yet. But I've been in the landscaping business all my life here in Nacogdoches.
Okay. So were you from here?
No, I'm from Central Texas, a little town called Cleburne. It's just
in the Panhandle?
No, it's just south of Fort Worth.
Oh, okay.
It was a small town. Right now, it's kind of a suburb of Fort Worth. It's been swallowed up,
okay.
But it has a unique little old-fashioned atmosphere.
Does it have like the small main street with the old building?
Yes, and a great, beautiful courthouse that we didn't tear down. It was just it's still a magnificent place. Can I tell you a little story about it?
Please.
Am I doing?
No, we just move this mic over here. It's kind of blocking your face.
Well, see, I'll look over it.
You can be like that, right there.
Okay.
Sure.
And you can also talk to the camera if you feel like it.
That one or that one?
That's your camera.
Aha.
So this one here or this one here?
Okay.
Then this one.
Okay. I think I'll talk to.
Yeah, talk to me if you want to.
Or if you tell the folks, you tell me.
Yeah, if you.
Okay. All right.
Let's wait till we get rolling.
Go.
Okay.
So anyway, Cleburne, Texas. Tell me about it.
Well, my first memory of Cleburne, Texas, is that my father worked for a little manufacturing company there. He was their advertising executive, and we moved from Fort Worth. And my little brother and I were walking down the road there in Cleburne, Texas, and the first little boy we met walked up to my little brother and I, and the first words out of his mouth was, "Do you want to fight?" And I thought, man, what a town have I come to. And I said, man, I don't even know you yet.
Yeah. Well, did you fight?
No. I maybe later we got in a fight, but at the time I didn't have any animosity.
Did you become friends or anything? Or?
Well, one of those kind of distant, we got along, but that kind of ruined my relationship. But I kind of thought, this is a rough town that I've come to.
Cleburne.
So anyway, it was a manufacturing place. They worked Santa Fe Railroad and manufacturing and stuff.
What'd your dad manufacture?
They made range hoods and like freezers and that kind of stuff. And he was their advertising guy.
So what was it like? Did you spend your whole childhood there?
Yes, till graduate from high school. Then came to good old SFA.
So SFA was a choice for you then?
Absolutely.
Why?
Well, I loved the trees, and the campus was magnificent. And they took low math scores. And I wasn't, I have number phobia, but everything else I was fine in. They took low math scores. I forget what mine were because that's numbers too, and I just didn't. So that's a strange thing that they let me in, Brad.
So what year were you in school here?
71.
So we were here at the same time.
Yes. Yeah. My wife was a theater major her first year, and she said, I know this fellow, Brad Maule. All the girls at the school there in theater loved Brad Maule. And I said, do you love him? No, and so I won't tell you what she said. She's a contrarian. If everybody's going a certain way,
right. She's swimming upstream.
She's swimming upstream. So I'm afraid
yeah,
the stream was running towards you, Brad.
Right. Well, we're
right
when you
right. Sure.
Yeah. I think.
Okay.
I think I was in the rapids back then. But
yes. Okay.
Flailing and yelling
yes,
for help.
Yes, that's right.
So when you were in Cleburne, did that, because people may know that you're a master gardener, is that right?
No, I'm really not.
But Well, okay, you've been a gardener
I've done landscaping.
landscaping.
All my life, my professional life, to earn a living.
But as a kid,
Yes.
did you have a green thumb? Kind of think about it.
I worked for parks, and like the state park in Cleburne, Texas, and for golf courses and all that kind of stuff. I just kind of was attracted to it for some reason.
Why?
They took low math scores too. No, I just liked it. I liked the atmosphere. I think a golf course is one of the most beautiful. They can be real works of art.
Yeah.
And I like the outdoors. Cleburne has a real nice state park even now.
Really? Yeah. Have you been out to that new golf course here?
No, I haven't. It's going to be a big, important thing.
Really big, like 3,000 acres or something. Maybe 3 golf courses. I don't know.
Yeah. That sounds beautiful and sounds wonderful. I'm not a golfer though.
Yeah.
Public humiliation.
But I'm not either. But you appreciate.
Oh, I like being in them.
Yeah.
I like working in them. I've raked lots of sand traps and mowed and clipped and all those things.
Wow. So what was SFA like for you? Did you know at the time what did you major in?
Forestry.
Okay.
I wanted to be a forest ranger and protect trees, and so I thought SFA would be great.
And?
Well, I learned that forestry primarily is not protecting trees, it's growing trees and cutting them down.
Oh.
A forester and a chainsaw go right together.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I was idealistic. And so I thought, we foresters wouldn't want to cut down a tree, but I didn't understand.
Yeah. You wanted to be a ecologist, I guess, or really in your heart, sort of, or you wanted to save stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to save the trees, and I'm a tree hugger at heart.
Okay.
But I understand that now. We're in a room that has a lot of wood in it. We need trees for building houses and furniture, but at the time, it was the hippie days,
I know. I was there.
Yeah.
I was there with
Yeah.
you. So what did you end up majoring in?
I ended up majoring in, after forestry, I went to business here, and from there I flailed about.
Doesn't that have a lot of math in it?
Yes.
Okay.
Flailing about. Stress that. And somewhere in my college years, I became a Christian. And I went off to Dallas Baptist University and got my degree in Greek there.
Wow.
You didn't know that? No, he said.
I did know that, I think. But how did you come to Christianity at SFA?
Well, it was the Jesus movement days.
Okay.
And I met some people that were kind and good, and I was attracted to them. And somewhere in there, I just committed to Christianity and to Jesus himself. And so, then I thought, well, maybe that should be my profession.
Did you have a, sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay.
Do you remember kind of the moment that it happened or when you walked forward or anything like that?
No, well.
How did it come upon you?
My mother, believe it or not, she was a great soul. When I was going off to college, and she sat me down at the kitchen table, and she said, now, you need to become a Christian. And she was serious. Although I tell everybody this, she was a smoker. That probably doesn't go together. Most folks don't see leading their son to the Lord with a cigarette in their hand. Yes, exactly so. And she's there, and she's, now, you need to come to Jesus. And I said, oh, okay, you're going off to college. And she says, are you ready to do that today? And I thought, well, why not? Doesn't sound serious, does it? But essentially...
No, when mothers speak to you...
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah. And she said, now, before we go any further, she looked me in the eye, she said, do you turn away from all evil as far as you know it to be? Man, that was a shock. Wow. And I said, okay. And so right then and there, we prayed. And I was in college.
Did she put her cigarette out?
No, probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. She she didn't.
Do you know I have a companion story for that?
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so one time I was living in Los Angeles at the time, and my mother called me, which was a little unusual because I called home.
Yeah.
But she called me and she said something terrible has happened,
no.
and I was like that. I was like, my God, Mom, what is it? And she said, well, we got some life insurance, and one of the questions today was, have you ever smoked? And she said, I lied. And I was like, well, Mom, everybody has a little bit of sin in their life. It's okay. I'm not sure that's even sinning or whatever. But I had never seen a more honest person. I mean, she felt so bad about that.
About lying about it.
It's reassuring. Yeah. I was like, Mom, have a cigarette and calm down.
Yeah.
She didn't, because I'd never seen her smoke. It turned out that my family were barn smokers. You know what that is?
Yes, I do.
You go out to the barn.
Some people are inconspicuous about their smoking.
Never knew it. All my life. Never knew.
No, I knew my mother did.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
Yes, but no, she was cavalier. But smoking, I have great sympathy. It used to be they don't even allow you to smoke out in the back behind the building now, at the exit. You can't even do that anymore. But I'd see people out smoking outside, the people that smoked in the office, they're all standing outside smoking. I used to have great affection for them because I thought they're out there in the wild smoking and segregated.
People used to smoke on planes when I was first on planes and stuff.
My friend Ab Abernathy said we would have not have won World War II if it wasn't for cigarettes.
No cigarettes?
Because when something was over, you just leaned back and smoked a cigarette. But my father would come in the house, from a long day's work, and he'd say, Billy Jane, my mother's name, you have a cigarette going on every countertop. And she'd say, oh, Frank, leave me alone. But, that's how she was. Anyway, she led me to the Lord there and went off. That's kind of how that happened.
And did you seriously try? Like when you went to school, you were like, okay.
Well, and I didn't have anything to do with the Jesus movement back, when that happened with my mother. But when I came up here, it was going on at SFA in the 71. And they were kind people and good people. And but ultimately, horticulture I studied theology and New Testament Greek and stuff, but ultimately it was horticulture that I made a living with.
How do you study Greek? I was in Greece one time.
Yeah.
You know how when you go to Hawaii, you learn aloha or something.
Yeah.
But I was in Greece for 3 weeks. I didn't learn a single Greek word.
I know you can't read that stuff.
No, the street signs, everything. It was like, where's your alphabet?
Well, they have a Greek alphabet. It's great.
Well, how did you learn that?
Well, they make you learn it, alpha, beta, gamma, delta. You could just you could get in the fraternity and you learn the Greek. That's how you join a fraternity. That's how they.
So a lot of people here actually speak Greek.
They don't. They can say the alphabet, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I was a member in college, the fraternity. Signify nothing.
Vista del nada.
Yeah. Anyway, that's right.
Well, did you actually speak Greek?
No, it's ancient Greek. You don't have to speak it. We don't even really know how it probably sounded. They guess pretty well, but modern Greek probably doesn't sound anything like ancient Greek that Plato and Homer and those guys and the New Testament was written in.
Do you think maybe they just spoke English and?
No, well, they might have. They might have had an English dictionary.
Yeah. Could you say something in Greekish kind of sound?
Oh, I'd rather not. Kalimera. That means good day.
Oh, that's it. So how do you say Kalimera?
Yeah.
I've learned some.
Hey, Mera is the word for day. Kalimera, good day.
So Kalimera.
You see, there you go. But if I tried to, I can't read modern Greek at all. It's,
But ancient Greek, you can read.
I can read a little. I'm not a pro at that at all.
But when you went to the Bible college, did you read the Bible in Greek?
Yes, that's what they taught you to do. That was the purpose, and I enjoyed that. I love grammar. I like adverbs and participles and all that stuff. Did you diagram sentences when you?
Do you know that I actually have I had a theater to English degree from SFA?
Yes.
But the hardest thing for me was to diagram a sentence.
Yeah.
That was, and I still don't quite understand
What the purpose is.
a lot of participles and things like
Yeah,
that. Or,
yeah.
even an adverb's a little tough on me sometimes.
Okay. Well, that's the part I liked about Greek. In fact, I learned basically writing. If I could, I like writing in English stuff, but grammar. I think grammar's interesting.
Okay. Do you still write? Do you like to write like a journal or a book or something like that?
Well, I wrote for the Sentinel.
That's true.
Yeah.
For how many years?
25 years.
Wow.
Once a week. That's a lot of gardening columns.
No, but that's where I kind of knew you because I didn't know you before that much.
Yeah, but I did that every week. And that's Greek helped me to write English. So I'm thinking, now what am I talking about here? What's the subject?
Yeah.
Subject, verb, and all that stuff.
Wow. Did you ever climb a fire tower when you were here?
Yep.
We have that in common too.
Yeah. I like the way you said that. Fire tire.
Fire tower. Well, I mean, I don't know if they have any here anymore, but
That one north of town? Did you climb up that one?
no, it seemed like it was southwest of town was the one that
you
I
must have
climbed.
been surrounded with fire towers.
Well, there were a lot of them, and I didn't climb it because I love trees. I did love trees, but when I was in college here, it was sort of a dare,
Right. It's
You'd get
scary
a
up
bottle of Boone's Farm and a friend or two, and you would climb a fire tower, and you couldn't get down.
until the next morning.
Because of the Boone's Farm, it kept you up there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been up in a fire tower. Somehow the word fire tower is, if you're a Texan, it's difficult not to say fire tower.
Yeah, well, that's what it is, isn't it?
Fire tower. Have you ever been in a fire tower?
Fire tire. You ever been in a flat tire? Yeah.
Well, anyway, so I've been in a fire tower.
They seemed more accessible when we were in college.
Well, now you go to one, if you can find one, they've got, barbed wire fence around it and says no admittance, don't stay off this. And
It's because of people like me.
with a Boone's Farm apple wine.
Very possibly so.
But yeah.
Huh. And when did you meet your sweet, wonderful wife?
Here at SFA. And she was
How did you meet her?
Going to church.
Okay.
And back then, of course, like I've said, it was the Jesus movement days, and and they at the Episcopal Church they had a prayer meeting there every afternoon at 4:30, all college kids,
Oh, okay.
and they sang, had guitars and stuff, and I met her there.
Now, can you explain the difference? Because I don't really know the difference between the Episcopal Church and Baptist and Methodist. Can you break those down for me? You thought you were just coming here to talk, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, but I'm no expert in all the denominations. America's got hundreds and hundreds. Christianity went to seed in America. I mean, we've made up all these different kinds of Christians, and we tussle with each other and stuff. But Episcopalians, Church of England, the source of Episcopal Church is the Church of England. And then it was Protestant in some sense. It wasn't Roman Catholic. But then people broke away from the Church of England. They became Puritans, and a lot of those people came to America. And when they came over here, they could believe anything they wanted to, and no one got mad at them or tried to burn them at a stake or anything. And so you have people like the Baptists. You get baptized after you become a Christian.
Oh, this is stuff I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Say that again. You get
Baptist, you get baptized after you become a Christian.
Okay.
And then some people believe that just the very experience of baptism that's your becoming a Christian in the very midst of going under, that kind of deal. And then others, you get baptized in a baby,
Mm-hmm.
and so you're basically a Christian from the start.
Wow.
So it all gets really complicated. And I'm really glad you said that. Christianity isn't all about those outward things. It's your really commitment to Jesus and loving Him and that He died for you. That's simple.
Because we get kind of confused with all the details.
That's true. And not only confused, we fight over it.
Yeah.
I'm not into fighting.
Yeah, because there's a lot of discussion like, how can somebody that's a baby or whatever, how could they not go to heaven?
Yeah,
if you've ever seen a baby, you have.
But there's all kinds of theological problems with that statement, though.
I know.
And they call it the age of accountability.
Yeah.
So you come to a certain age, and that's when you become accountable, and when you kind of not going to heaven. So when do you become not a baby, and therefore you might go to hell? And so I always thought, if babies were going to all go to heaven, let's kill them before they grow up. See, it didn't make sense to me. See, logic is not a good in the point.
Well, and also,
I'm going to get people mad at me.
No, you're not. Yeah,
okay.
But also, I think that COVID set kids back. I'm not sure they're accountable. I think they're still babies right now, even college kids.
Well, they're looking at their iPads.
Yeah,
they're not accountable. If you have your nose in your iPad, you can't do much wrong out there in the world. Because I've seen people dating
that are no account.
No, they're both looking out their phone on a date.
Yeah,
mercy me, I couldn't take my eyes off my wife. My future wife.
Y'all still get along too.
Yeah.
I've been to your house.
And we still.
That's how long have you been married?
50 years this last summer.
My goodness.
That's a long time, man.
That's a real good.
I thought I'd rather be dead than live this old when I was in college at SFA.
Well, I thought people over pretty much 30 were dead in some ways, Well, I mean, when I was young, I was just like, golly.
But now you're invisible that you're old.
Isn't that weird that you become invisible?
I know.
Now tell me this, because I believe this. There used to be there's a period of time in your life when you walk in a room, and whether they like you or not, they do look at you. They're aware of your presence.
Yes.
They can feel you if they like you, all that kind of stuff. And there's some point that you walk in a room and people just go right on living. They do not care that you walked in.
I don't know what age it is. It's kind of like the age of accountability. You lose it. I've walked in a room and I'm just, now that I have, gray hair and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. It seemed, it probably happened before I was aware of it or something. It seemed like I became aware of it at the age of around 40 or something. I was like, people just don't care anymore. They don't care what I think. They don't care what I want or anything, but maybe that's not true. I don't know.
Well, I sense it. I think probably most of our generation has felt that now at this, they haven't cared about what I thought now for 20 years.
Is there an advantage to being invisible?
I haven't thought about that.
Well, I mean, it means that you can kind of get away with a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, just go there and sit on this and no one bother me.
Drink coffee and read a book or something.
That's right.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, except I get mail. They want to know I get mail.
What is that? What is that thing for older people? Retirement? That AD? What's that? What's that? The people that write me postcards all the time saying you need to join this organization.
Yes.
It's a retirement organization.
I know.
Something I'm like, well, that's for old people. I'm not doing that.
Well, see,
what's that called anyway?
I don't know. I think that you reach a certain age when you start thinking about things you didn't think about when you're doing your career and you're rocking and rolling. I wanted to be the best landscaper and make the most money and do all that stuff. And then there came a point when I started going down. My mind opened up to joining, this club or that club or the History Society. Who cares about, when you're young, you don't care about history. You're talking about now, man.
No, I know. It's all right now. Let's go back to that landscaping thing. When did it turn from, I like plants and I like hugging trees, to serious, let's get down to how a tree is trimmed or how a tree grows? Did you have a moment like that? Or how old were you when it changed?
Well, when I decided to go in business, I decided I want to know more about it than anybody else. I mean, that's just kind of the way I approached it. I wanted to know more. I didn't want just to be a lawn boy, and mow grass and trim bushes. I wanted to know more about
And
anybody else.
what does that mean to know more about it?
Well, you don't just, when the guy said, how, trim my bushes, you could tell them how the best way to do it, and I'll do it that way, and then you'll explain what you're doing and that why it's worth paying you a little more because you know what you're doing.
Oh, so
Yeah,
how did you learn to know
Books.
where to?
I'm a reader.
Okay.
I am a reader, so I'm self-taught. I didn't take courses in horticulture. I guess Greek helped me with scientific names. But other than that, I took. Of course, I did it in high school and even working through seminary. I went. I'd worked in golf courses and stuff. So.
Was it kind of a common sense thing? You're like, I know, like me, a lot of times
No, you watch.
I'll just climb up and saw something else.
Well, that's true. If it's a dead branch, you want to cut it off.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is just watching people and asking questions.
Okay.
And why?
And recently you kind of gave a seminar to the city of Nacogdoches.
Yeah, I did.
What did you tell them? Can you tell us a little bit?
Well, we talked about the methods of trimming a tree and pruning a tree, how to do it the right way without making mistakes and making the tree more susceptible to disease, and maybe it becomes unsightly and it's going to break and split and all those things. There's little rules that if they just know a few of them will save a lot of trouble later on down the way.
Can you share some of those rules?
Well, never top a tree.
Like, just don't make us.
Well, a lot of people say, let's just make that tree smaller.
Oh, gotcha.
And so they just cut off all the branches at a certain height. Or you've seen crepe myrtles that have been lobbed off.
You're kind of famous about that, aren't you? Didn't you have a bumper sticker there for a while?
Yes, I wish I'd have brought one.
Oh, I do too.
It's Stop Crepe Myrtle Mutilation bumper sticker.
Okay. How do people murder?
Well, they top it,
Mutilate myrtle.
and they cut it down to a certain height, and it really destroys the tree's shape. I don't know if you've seen an old crepe myrtle. They're beautiful. They have the beautiful branching patterns, and their bark is smooth. You just want to put your hand on it. It looks like it's just smooth as this table. And crepe myrtles are beautiful shaped trees, but they bloom, and everybody's after that bloom. And so they think if I cut it like this, we'll see it'll bloom out more. It'll sprout out, right. And it'll make more blooms. And a plant, see, these are just little rules. A plant wants food. And the way it makes food is that water comes up from the ground and nutrients, and then you got that photosynthesis up in the leaves. And those two things feed that plant. So when you cut off all these branches and you top it, that tree is going to want that stomach, back again the next spring. And so it wants to create the same amount of food as what you cut off. Right. And so it can't make food because you cut all this stuff off. So it puts out new branches, and they're brittle. It's unsightly. It looks, if I, rattled your hair right now, that's what a crepe myrtle looks like.
Okay.
It just
see all this making sense because I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I told them that don't ever top a tree. There's no good reason.
Now, in my personal case, I went to them and I said, Sam Houston and Caddo Chief.
Yeah,
they're over there in a statue.
Yeah,
that we'll talk about soon because we have you do statues and stuff.
Yeah,
but I said the trees have all grown together and nobody can see the statue. Did you tell them, can they trim up that so they could see that statue?
Well, I need to go over there. Maybe you and I can go together.
Okay.
The thing, what you'd probably want to do is maybe open up the tree, a place exactly where the statue is, maybe open that section up. But it's either grow the tree up so you can see under it, but topping it will just make it worse. Because it will just go boom. Yeah. If these are all natural branches over here, this is the trunk of the tree, and you cut all these off, The next spring, it's going to go boom like that again. But all those branches will be less brittle.
Yeah.
Not as good, not as natural, solid branching. So the thing to do is not to top it, but maybe limit up so you can either see under it or maybe through. We maybe need to open up one of those things.
Well, we need to look at it because I think the thing, when they planted it, I'm sure they planted it 10 feet apart or something.
Yeah.
But then the tree grew.
Yeah.
And they kind of grew together so that the statue over here, you can't.
We see the statue came second. The trees were there first.
Okay.
And that's, I'm a tree hugger. And so the trees were there first, and we put the statue there. And by the way, the reason the statue was there, the original plan was to put back on that high part down where that gazebo is. That's where the statue was going to be. And then someone has said, well, we want that statue right out close to the road so people could see it as they drive by. You see, so the trees were there first, and we put the statue there, and they were young then.
Yeah, they were little.
And now we're going to have to deal with it, figure out what to do.
Okay. Yeah, I've always looked at that park, and I'm like, why is everything so sort of asymmetrical or something? I mean, that statue feels like somebody just threw it.
That is it. Now since we're talking about statues,
okay,
that's almost just like that happened.
Really?
Yes.
Because there's no symmetry or thought.
Well, it was supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be there. It was supposed to be back. I don't know if you look at the Stern Park. It rises up there.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be there, and there'd be benches around there, and you could sit and look at it. And back when they first built that park, we had a city band. All the different band people that knew band instruments got together in the summer, and we had an annual band concert at the gazebo. It was fun. People sat out in the lawn and stuff.
They'd been watching Dawson's Creek or something.
I know, but no one,
Well, when you paint a picture, I mean, oftentimes there's leading lines, or if you're making a movie, you have leading lines leading to what you want people to look at.
Where does it go? Where do the lines go? They go to the gazebo.
I guess so.
If you go look at the Stern Park, there's a mound, a long mound going this way from the street straight to the gazebo, and then there's two others going like this to the gazebo, and that was the symmetry of the park.
So, but then you put a bunch of trees along here.
Well, trees are those weren't the original trees.
Well, who's planning all this stuff? Who's out there going, I'm not complaining. I'm just complaining, okay?
You're not complaining. You're just, originally, the park was planned by Friends of Historic Nacogdoches Incorporated, the History Society. And that was a U-Haul trailer park. So they rented U-Haul trailers there. Okay. And it was, we found out that Sam Houston gave that park to Eugenia Stern for her birthday. Gave that land to keep her pony there. She had a pony. Did you know the pony story?
No.
Eugenia Stern had a pony, and Sam Houston and Adolpha Stern, Eugenia's father, lives over at the Stern house over there. They lived back over there in the 1830s. Sam Houston and Eugenia Stern had their birthday on March 2nd.
Okay.
So he would give her presents on March 2nd. For her birthday, and they would celebrate his birthday and have fun. So he gave her that land, signed it over to Eugenia Stern to keep her pony there.
Wow.
And so we said, that's an ugly, ugly place over there with all the U-Haul trailers. Let's call it the Eugenia Stern Park and fix it up, make it nice. Now that's how that started.
That's a great idea.
Well, it's got history to it, and if the trees probably do need to be limbed up. Now, those trees will never get tall. They're not going to be huge shade trees. So if they're going to be limbed up, we need to start working on them. So,
well, who picks those trees?
Well, I'm afraid I did. If you don't like them, I'm afraid I'm taking.
Now I really love them, but
you too. Well, the reason they were picked,
okay,
is they flower magnificently in the spring.
Okay, I don't think I knew that.
Oh, they are See, this is the little Latin, and Greek names, Chinoanthus retusus.
That's what I was thinking.
You knew that's what it was. They were Chinese fringe trees.
Okay.
We have a Chinoanthus called Grancy graybeard virginica, which is a native tree here in East Texas and has beautiful white foliage in the spring. Okay, it's a native flowering tree in our woods. Well, the Chinese have a version, retusis, that blooms even fancier, and so we planted these beautiful. They look like clouds that fallen out of heaven, and every spring. Anyway, and then in the fall they have nice yellow foliage and stuff too.
Okay.
So that's why those were picked, but they were there before the statue, and someone wanted the statue up close to the street, and so that's why it's kind of odd sitting there.
Okay.
Does that strike you as odd? Yeah.
So maybe you can help me there, because I was just sitting at Brendan's when I stared noticing this.
I know. Yes, I bet you will.
Having
That's
some
a
good
great
barbecue, and I'm sitting out
good
there, and I
food
was like,
too. Why are they doing that?
Who did this? And what was the, like, okay, so we have what we have. We have trees, we have statue, and we have the gazebo. Where's the band? Where's the Nacogdoches band?
We did it for like 6 years in a row, and I forget one of these clubs did it every summer, and everybody went out and they have these roads. You could see them now. If you go out there, you can see these rises. They all go right to the gazebo, and that would be the walkways, and people would sit and put their chairs between these walkways and stuff. We just don't do it anymore. There's a lot of weddings there, by the way, but I haven't seen a band concert for a while.
Maybe we should work on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And
what's that music man? We have a band.
Yeah, we got trouble right here in River City.
Right here. We could have.
But that's something I think. I guess it goes in and out of popularity. But people nowadays, Cleburne, Fort Worth, we go to Sundance Plaza.
I love Sundance.
I think it's the coolest place
ever. Too.
Because it's that rare thing of where kids are drawn to it because it has the little splash pads and the water feature.
Yeah.
But it's not a bunch of plastic looking stuff. It's like adults can sit there and feel okay too.
Yeah.
So when we go to Fort Worth, and we go there a lot.
I love Fort Worth.
Not the whole town, but the town at evening when the weather's good, they're drawn to that because they have a band. We have that bandstand there. They're drawn to that. They're drawn to the water sounds and to so I think there's a movement that way. So maybe you could work on that.
I'm with you on that. We need, what do they call it? Third places. You go to work, that's a place. You go home, that's a place. And then there's this other place called the third place where you just hang out in public even, and you see John Henry Smith and say, "Hey, John, how you doing?"
You are blowing my mind.
We need that kind of thing.
I have never heard a third place.
It's not work. It's not home. It's this third place.
That is an amazing thought. It's so simple and beautiful.
It is. Well, I think Java Jack's is that way a little. The Fredonia Hotel. That kind of. It's a third place where you, and that's what the Stern Park was designed to be, a third place. It's like Bryant Park in New York City.
So what do we need to do to Eugenia Stern Park to bring it into that third place again?
Well, it takes. Well, I've had crazy ideas.
Do we need like the stone fort there?
No, that would destroy the third place.
Okay.
Because you put the stone fort there, then it will be the stone fort. It won't be Eugenia Stern Park. It'll be the stone fort.
Do we need her pony there?
Well, her pony's dead.
Okay. Bitter truth coming out now.
Sad but true. Pony's dead.
Well, how do we don't have to make that part, but how do we make a bunch of third places around here? Because people used to go, "Hey, you want to go to the movies?" Can't do that anymore.
No. I hear we're going to have the movies theaters coming back, though. But you're right. We need I agree with you. A third.
That's why you had a town square, though,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. Charles Bright, that did the town square, just right over here, that's what he wanted. He wanted a shady place where you could get out of the sun and sit out of the sun and, with a bunch of guys and just be cool.
Has it changed since that?
No, that's his desire. And people of different times have wanted to make it the Christmas light capital of Nacogdoches, and that all of a sudden the landscape was all about Christmas lights, and then we go back and forth with it. I think it's an inviting place. I don't know. I feel good
just
about
like a building right now to me. It's not a place that
you don't see people sitting out in those park benches as much as you do. I think that I may think about that. I don't know how to draw that out. I don't know.
I think maybe, and I'm just
go ahead.
Amateur opinion here, but it seems the vegetation is so high around it that you don't quite know you would go inside of it.
Originally it wasn't that way. Okay. Now you have a big banks of azaleas on the east side. Okay. Then you have this opening there.
Yeah.
Originally the azaleas weren't there. But we go through these phases. We were going to be the azalea capital of East Texas. And so we had the Azalea Festival. Mm-hmm. It was the duty of every good red-blooded Nacogdoches citizen to plant azaleas. And so they decided, I designed that park too, the plaza there. And it was low ground cover. You could see through it, and it was open. But then they said, we want azaleas. So I said, okay.
Now, can you top an azalea?
The top an azalea, you could cut them back hard. Those are southern indica azaleas, the classic azaleas in the American South, and they get big, and it's hard to keep them low. Okay. But you see that in what we wanted that at the time. We go through these phases of what's...
It's almost like this town is a human being.
Yeah.
I mean, it does go through phases.
It goes through phases. We're in our azalea phase, or we're in the Christmas light phase. And it used to be everything was about Christmas lights. Mm-hmm. And, that's everything at the plaza. We need to focus on putting Christmas lights on it.
Yeah. Well, I did notice this Christmas.
Yes.
That I used to complain actually because the street lights were sort of down. Did you do this? Is this your fault too? Or I don't know, but sorry.
Well, I don't smoke. I lie. I'm like your mother. I'm going to start lying about this stuff.
No,
I'm smoke at the barn.
The town had sort of a yellowish glow to it all, so it looked a little gloomy to me at night, at least. And I was always like, why don't we light this place up a little bit so we can see these beautiful buildings? And I noticed this year they changed the bulbs, and now that you don't feel so creepy going down the street.
I agree with that. They picked the color. Okay. I remember when those street lights were picked. Whoever the city engineer picked the color of the light.
For what reason?
I don't know. They were cheap or something. But if you went down Main Street east, they changed. You remember that? They changed to a bright white, different light temperature.
Yeah.
And they were different in both. They were down past Lanana Street. They had a different color. But same street lights, different color. And I don't know why they picked that orange color.
Well, I think there was a phase in the 70s,
they wanted warm
80s. They had, I know in West Texas, which is where I'm from, they had this whole rash of like sandstorm colored lights is the best way I can describe it. And every town was suddenly kind of yellowish, glowy, orangey glowy.
And it's fad. It's like the avocado. countertops
like
that my mother burned her cigarettes
It's
in.
like kitchens or something.
Yes.
I'm surprised they didn't have avocado green lights in them.
Well,
For
it truly
heart
is.
gold.
These things are fads. This is why everything styles, just like I always use landscaping is a perfect example. Things come in style and out of style. Chinoanthus retusus, the Chinese fringe tree in that park, this was the tree that was going to change Texas.
Oh.
And so that's why we planted them. Everybody said, this is the one we've got to have.
Okay.
So that's kind of it was the fad. It was the I'm ceased to do the fad now. Now if someone says this is going to change the world, this plant, I go,
You've been around.
yes. But see, now I'm old and they don't pay attention to me.
I think they do. People really pay attention to your gardening.
Well, anyway, so it's like women's skirts. When they blow these things are fashioned just the same with landscaping.
Wow.
So it'll. And see,
Are you more of a classicist now? I mean, like a classic landscaper?
I think each place is unique. And what would fit in one place, if say I'm a classicist, if I did that everywhere I went, that wouldn't be good.
Right.
A landscape needs to fit where it is. The plaza needs to be more open. You're right, so people could sit there. But the trees have to stay.
Okay.
Because the guy that paid for all that said, I want a shady place so a guy can sit in the shade in August.
That makes sense.
And I'm going to fight for that guy because Charles Bright, that was his vision for the landscaping there.
Okay, here's a theory, is that we maybe don't have a unified... Charles Bright seemed to have a vision
He did.
of what he wanted. And he was just like Ab Abernathy, major force of...
Yeah. He's gonna do it, and he's gonna wake up every morning and gonna do it.
Well, are you our visionary now?
Well, no, probably not.
Could you be?
I don't know if I want to be, Brad, but
Okay.
Those guys break the rules. Mr. Bright said, I would like this to be a shady place downtown. And he pushed and made enemies to some extent.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Because he pushed so hard to get it done. Of course, he was willing to put his money where his mouth was.
Skin in the game.
Absolutely. And he's at the same time he was doing the plaza, the street lights here in town, in downtown, the old-fashioned street lights were put in. Mm-hmm. But we had power poles both sides of our downtown. Can you imagine what that looked like?
Yeah. Hong Kong or something.
Yeah, Hong Kong looks better.
Oh, okay.
I mean, but he pushed.
But he got rid of those?
Yes. And he pushed, and the city government said, well, it's going to be too expensive to bury the power lines there, and it's going to cost a lot of money. So he goes around town and he collars Jeff Apt or someone like me and says, don't you want to buy a street light for downtown? And that kind of thing. And he was a real force. And Ab Abernathy was a force. In fact, I have a letter somewhere that Ab gave me, and it says, the things you need to do when I'm dead.
That's Ab.
See, he's still directing, I think I need to get on that list and start do some of that list.
Wow.
So
you still have that letter?
Somewhere in my computer somewhere.
We need to obey that or listen to it.
Yeah. Well, he said he'd like to see Mound Street a major corridor between SFA and downtown.
I think that's happening, or maybe
yes, it's working on it. He said power lines need to go. You need to bury them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, about 20 years ago, we checked into it a little bit, how much it would cost. It's about several millions of dollars per mile.
Yeah.
But that's what would have to happen. But you could, if that was a major, you can widen it a little bit, and put nice sidewalks. Then you could put great big street trees in
Would
there.
you put a boulevard down the middle of it or something?
Then you'd eat into your front yard.
Right. Yeah.
And you don't. Some people might be okay with that, so others wouldn't, and you'd have to fight with them.
Yeah. And that's a long process
And-
unless you get everybody on board.
Yes, and you don't want to fight with anybody, because as soon as there's one, you want to make everybody happy as you do it. It's
What about
tricky.
a trolley? Can we get
A trolley?
Yeah. I know you can't do, like I love, like in New Orleans, you could take a trolley.
Trolley, yeah, me too.
Oh, it's incredible. I don't think we'll ever have that, but we could have one on wheels that didn't look just like a city bus, but looked like a trolley.
It just goes from, yes.
SFA downtown.
And, we're close. I think we're right on the edge of, listen, I think we're close to having, we've gotten the motion.
Mm-hmm.
So, but people forget or don't. Our square or the plaza, it was called the Plaza Principal in the Spanish days. It was open place.
Boy, it brings up a sore point to me. When I go to Puerto Vallarta or some town like that, they have a plaza.
Yep.
And people go there at sunset.
And sit.
They go and eat their lunch there.
Well,
Sundance Plaza. Where's ours?
Well, in the 1920s, we decided we needed a post office. And the city fathers said, let's put a U.S. post office right in the middle of our plaza.
That'll bring people downtown.
And now it's a square. People talk about the square downtown, but it wasn't a Spanish, it was a Spanish plaza. And once you put that building in the middle, which is a perfect place now for the Visitors Bureau, it's fine, but it was a Spanish plaza right there.
Why can't we have that again?
Well, we'd have to blow up the CVP. That would be trouble.
Can't we just move it, I don't know, someplace else?
The convention, it was a plaza. I'm telling you what. In fact, that was called the Plaza Principal Project. Redoing the landscaping. That's what when we were doing that. So that, and there was a little Spanish plaza between here or between the west side of our square or the plaza now. There was another Spanish plaza where the Catholic Church was over there where our courthouse is now.
Oh, okay.
And there was another little plaza there and a graveyard that went with it. So it was all kind of, this was the whole town. I mean, where the I forget which fraternity it is, where the statue of Carlos and Baker. What's that fraternity?
Sig Tau's.
The Sig what?
Sig Tau's.
Sig Tau's.
It's Greek.
It is. Yeah, I'm signify nothing. That's my fraternity. I like them. Now, that was in the country in the 1920s.
Yeah.
Our town was just centered right here.
How far did the brick streets go out?
I'm not.
I've heard rumors they go a lot further than the
They
brick
do.
streets.
We've covered them over. Yeah. And there's a whole bunch of these pavers out at our city dump site there. They've stored a bunch of city pavers out there. So we could fix them, maybe make use of them one day. I think the brick streets are valuable to us.
Yeah. Very valuable.
Yeah. But I can imagine a nice it wouldn't take much to make Mound Street a really attractive place to walk up and down. Maybe we'll get outside again. We don't do it much
Do you know, I notice more people walking
I do too.
now and riding scooters and doing little things, which I think is a great thing.
I do too.
Are the sidewalks just too narrow or something? Are they too bumpy? Or, what would make Mound Street work for you? Because you said widen it, but
there's places you can't widen. I can't see how
you do widen things. It just fills up with more traffic. People drive faster.
That's true.
It seems to me.
Well, yes, I agree with you. I think the thing that would make it would be get rid of the power lines where you could plant street trees, and it would be much more inviting, and put benches along the way, and maybe you have brick sidewalks maybe to make them inviting, that kind of thing. But burying the power lines, so I have a good friend, Bill Patton. He grew up and there were street trees. You walk down through a tunnel of oaks on Mound Street. I mean, it was just like this.
The way North Street was
Absolutely.
when we were in college.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Well,
but Mound Street is a perfect place to start. But it would be a job that SFA probably would want to be involved in, because we're connecting these two main SFA and downtown. It would be a little city. We'd have to join hands as a community to do it, but it would mean a lot. It would mean a lot to the town. And it would be pleasant. Yeah. One thing we don't want, you know this, street trees are valuable for shade. And one of the things that makes it difficult to plant street trees are power lines. It's just flat a problem. So
could we start and say, just going to go 3 blocks this way or 5 blocks, and then we'll take it in sections or something?
I don't know. Now that would be a guy, someone would have to really engineer it. You'd have to really think it out. It would have cost, I forget what the price was 15 years ago when we priced it. But it would take vision.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it safer because the lines go down?
Yeah, your electricity doesn't go off.
Right.
Now this is a question. I mentioned it, and someone said, well, you'd have to re-hook up everybody on Mound Street. They'd have to redo their connection. It can't be lines anymore.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
All those little, and so however many individual owners of property on Mound Street, you're going to have to deal with each. Brad Maule, if he lives on Mound Street, might say, hey, I'm not paying for that connection. I'm doing just fine now. And he, or John Henry Smith, not Brad. Someone would have to pay for all those connections. So it's not just burying the power line. At my house.
So we'd have to do a bond or something?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think it would just have to be a community project. And that's at my home, where I live now on Lanana. I wanted the power lines buried. So they did. So each one of those little townhouses
paid some extra money to have that?
Yep, $20,000 for those 3 hookups. And they buried it. And then I said, well, now we still have the phone lines. And they said, well, that'll cost you $60,000 or $70,000 to put the phone lines underneath. And I thought, you just don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I just couldn't afford to do the extra $6. But in front of my house, there's wires going across there. They're phone lines. They're not power lines.
Wow.
So for all that to go under the ground, you have to get, all of that stuff would need buried. But in a well-planned town, that's the way they do it.
Well, and they're always adding $5 to your bill on something.
By the way, have you noticed some power lines they've put up on poles on universities?
Yeah, I did. Out of nowhere.
Why? Who said they could?
I don't have the answer to that, except I called them. Yeah.
They did it.
Apparently, they have some kind of right of way that we didn't know they had, I guess. A lot of times
But see, they just junked up that part of University Drive.
Which is not that old. Could have been buried.
Everything's buried. They just junked it up.
I hope my electricity doesn't go off tonight for saying
it may, yes. Well, mine's going to go off. No, mine's buried in front of my house.
Yeah.
But I won't be able to call out. I don't use telephone line anymore.
Nobody does. Everybody's got a cell phone nowadays.
I think on Lanana they decided my what's those fancy cable now the light goes through? What are those?
Well, never mind.
We're old people.
I know.
They ignore us.
It's some kind of laser. I don't.
Anyway, they're on wires.
Fiber
optics is on that. They wrapped it around the phone line where the old phone line was.
Instead of digging holes and burying things like.
But see, I had cable buried, and I had power lines buried.
Wow.
But I couldn't get the phone guys to come without. They just didn't want to do it. So.
But it's going to take a movement. You can't legislate it. It's going to have to be people demanding.
Well, if it takes forward thought, it takes someone seeing off how good this can be. And there are people in this town, Richie DeWitt doing that to the Fredonia Hotel before any of this good stuff started to happen. He thought he was thinking out ahead of anybody else. He said, that's a valuable place for this town. And doing a place like Mound Street just takes some outward. And then you got to get a guy that says, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to work on it.
Yep. You think about the hotel. When it was closed, it was, and I was here during that time.
Me too.
It was heartbreaking to drive by it. And in some ways, it was a little bit of the heart of the town, and the heart was not beating for that time.
That's right. And it looked like we were going downhill.
Yeah, like a snowball headed downhill.
That's exactly.
And the thing about Mr. DeWitt is that he didn't do that. He didn't go, ooh, I can make a bunch of money.
No.
I'm going to lose a bunch of money, but I have a vision. I think that's what he thought.
No, that's why he did it. Yeah. These things take vision. And someone that says, you may have some questions, or you may say, what about this, or what about that? Someone that has a vision says, we'll do it anyway. Mm-hmm. Sundance Square in Fort Worth, Texas, took vision.
Sid Richardson or somebody? I don't know.
One of the Hunt brothers? The guy?
Oh, the Hunts. Okay. I don't know.
I'm going to tell you. I don't know if I should say this right here in
Definitely
public.
should say it.
When Mr. Bright decided he'd do the plaza, he'd pay for it and get it done. The city commission said, listen, Mr. Bright, we love you for doing this, but we'd like you to take a bond out on yourself in case you don't fulfill your word. Now, did they make the Hunt brothers take a bond out before they did what they did, Sundance Square?
What happened to a handshake?
Now, that hurt him. I mean, that
almost make him walk away.
And he nearly did, but he didn't. And now people do not remember that that square or the plaza used to look like.
It was a post office.
Was a vacant post office with city trucks and vehicles parked around it.
Wow.
Every afternoon. That's what it looked like.
So we have made progress.
Oh. But see, we forget that took someone with vision to do it.
What about these sidewalks? I've griped about the sidewalks around town here. Yeah. And they say, well, Brad, the reason they're so high that you can't get up on them is because you're old. Or they say, well, see, wagons used to back up here, Brad.
Did you see you've seen the little rings?
Yeah, for the horses.
Well, you could tie up, yeah.
Okay, but what's the compromise there? Because you can't get up on the sidewalk sometimes, and it'd be great if we had wagons backing up there and unloading, but we don't. And we don't have station wagons anymore. So what's the compromise? Do we cut into that step? What do we do?
I think a good designer that has respect for what we are now. In other words, he would see these high sidewalks. Mm-hmm. We're not going to change that.
Can't change the doors of the stores.
That's right. So maybe you could have entrances that are open a little bit. It'd take a real good, thoughtful designer.
Okay.
To sit down and figure out a way to do that. Not destroy everything that's here, but figure a way to make it more open. We've made progress. Listen, just the plant material and the flower boxes and what we forget. But anyway, that kind of a thoughtful designer is it's a great human being.
Yeah. I remember when I think we've talked about this before, but Ab Abernathy was my English teacher when I came to college.
You take Shakespeare with him?
Well, yeah, I did.
Okay.
But I mean, literally the first day of class, he started quoting Old English to me at
Yeah.
Canterbury's Tales.
It's like
Canterbury
Greek.
Tales.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm in the wrong class because I don't understand what this guy's saying. I'm from West Texas, and he scared me to death. Okay, he was.
Did you drop his course?
No.
Oh, good.
No, I just was like, what the heck have I done? You know, and he wasn't mean.
No,
he
he
was
was
just
not.
very to the point. Whatever, you know, and it wasn't French, it wasn't Spanish,
It was Old English.
Old English. Anyway, I got through that, and you kind of fall in love with him when he's there because he's so passionate about it and makes it come to life. Then I didn't see him anymore because, you know, college ended and went on. But when I came back to Nacogdoches, I went down to this trail, the Nana Trail, and there he and what's his wife's name? What was
Frances.
Frances. There they were, and they were pretty elderly at that time.
Yeah, like us. Now.
With a garden hose and hose, and they were out there in the middle of
hacking and
the eyes of Father Marhill, and they were just
working hard.
slowly doing it all.
Now,
Sorry.
no, I love it.
That's an impossible project if you say, well, I want to build a trail all the way around Nacogdoches and along Lanana and Bonita Creek
That's right.
and all that.
That's his vision.
That's something. But he was one of those kind of people, and he did it one little bit at a time.
I will. I can remember this, and this is our problem today. When he was at the end of his life, that period of his life, we had an appreciation dinner. You may have been there.
Yeah.
And the city father said, now, you know, Ab, you know, what you've done, we can't do anymore because you just went out and did it. We have rules now we're going by, but we love Ab for what he's done, and everybody would applaud. But you see, Ab did it. People in this town didn't answer their phone on Sunday afternoon because they thought it was Ab calling them up to work on the trails. That could be Ab, don't answer it. See, he did it, and he had this vision, and that's part of what the rule, the stuff he wants me to finish. This vision of 2 creek walks with Mound Street going down the middle and joining. It's at Austin.
Let's do this.
So those are the kind of things that takes energy.
But we got to get rid of those city fathers.
Who say, would you take a bond out on yourself?
No, yeah. Look, I mean,
Listen,
we got to get the visionaries happening.
And I've got a great story for you.
Okay.
Down at the park, are we close to be finished?
We're all good.
Down at the park by the creek, down there where the city has a meeting hall down there by Lanana.
Oh, the Liberty Hall.
Liberty Hall Park. Thanks. There's a monument there that talks about the creeks and stuff. Okay, that was put up by Ab and Dr. McDonald and Archie McDonald, and they put this. It was a nice little monument there. And the city one day and the power company put power poles right next to it. Right next to it. So because it's easier, they're lazy. To be honest with you, it's just easier. Yeah. Ab calls them up, and he says this, and I quote, "You people would put power poles in the Garden of Gethsemane if we let you." And you know what? He knew how to communicate.
Yeah,
and that
clearly, very clear.
And you know what? Those power poles were gone, and they had to move them. In the Garden of Gethsemane, that's a classic.
Yeah, that's a great. And you know, and hopefully this is going to happen. But the Eyes of Father Marhill, you know, I read about it. I've read things about it. But you go down there, and I went there when I first got here, and I was like, well, this is just a mud hole, basically. There's so much we could do.
Oh yeah,
It's a miraculous place.
It's it's amazing it hadn't returned to the absolute wild.
Yeah.
That
close.
It's very close. It's right on the edge of returning to the wild. But I could remember hip deep in there digging that out with Ab and lining these several pools in there where the water would drip in. It was a miserable day that he got me doing that.
Yeah.
But see, he did it. But it takes passion
Mm-hmm.
and vision. I think vision is even more. You have to have the vision before, I guess, the passion. I don't know which comes first, but no, I think vision probably. But then the passion takes over because he worked at it himself. You'd go down in there with him, and he'd be stripped down to his waist, with cut off blue jeans on, with a machete hacking away.
And now there's trails.
And it wouldn't have happened without him. And sometimes he would do something that people didn't really want him to do.
Mm-hmm.
But he did it
And that was in some people's backyards, actually.
Absolutely. But no one cared anyway. Now it's valuable. It's a valuable thing for our town. You still see people running along through there. But even that could be upgraded and made a little bit more.
Yeah. It seems like bureaucracy, and I'm part of it, but it seems like maybe bureaucracy gets in our way a lot of times.
Well, bureaucracy, a good bureaucrat will figure out a way to do things. But a good bureaucrat can also figure out a way that make it never happen. They can do both. I've known the bureaucrats, they both would be termed good bureaucrats. They know what they're doing, but they could either stop you dead in your tracks
mm-hmm.
or figure out a way to get around this problem. If we want people up on this high sidewalks here on this side of the street, let's figure out a way to solve the problem. I don't know.
Okay, we got to find those people.
Yep. And we need to support the people like that do have skin in the game and not discourage them.
Yeah. And not make them put a bond up to prove that they're good people.
That they're good people, they're going to finish it.
Yeah, you're right. Will you come back, please? We didn't even, there's so much I wanted to get into, and I didn't even get there with you.
Well, sure.
Please come back.
Okay.
Because, there's just so much more. I have one final question,
okay,
which came to me a moment ago. We're known for pine trees out here.
Yep.
I am a firm believer because when I drive from where there's no pine trees and come back in here,
me too.
I feel better.
I
feel like there's more oxygen here than other places.
Because of the pine trees.
Because of the trees and all the vegetation that we have. Why are there no pine trees in town, in like downtown? Is that because they fall?
Well, we're kind of working on that.
What kind of trees would you put if you...
you need to plant clusters of pines. That way they protect each other. A pine all by itself, it'll become a bull pine just out in the middle of a pasture, and it'll be pretty sturdy because it's light. But you don't have that kind of atmosphere all the time. So if you plant clusters of pines together, they protect each other. They become a little colony. And that's why SFA, the pines there protect each other. It's all kind of a living, breathing little forest. And so the plan is to plant pines on the TJR campus.
Oh.
A cluster of pines there, and some oaks too. I mentioned Bill Patton. Bill Patton is paid some money.
Bill Patton's one of those visionaries.
Oh yeah. And well, he's given some money to do it, and so we're going to dig some holes and plant them. The real catch is Jeff Apt and his buddies will be watering those pine trees for the first couple summers.
Will you put me on that list?
Okay, we'll
put Amos on that.
Yeah. Well, we're buying tree bags that you go around them, and fill the tree bags up with water in the drought period. But
okay.
Bill Patton says he grew up a block away from the TJR campus. He says that was all woods there when he went to school there, all woods.
We need more of those.
That's right.
More of those woods here.
Yep, I agree. And I'm with you on the pine trees, because there's nothing, if you're from Central Texas or from West Texas, you see those pine trees, you say, I'm going to come to school here.
We need a reason for people to pull off. There's college and there's historic buildings, which we didn't even get to.
Yeah.
But if you say you're driving down 69 or whatever it is, and you go, well, where's that town that has all the pine trees and it's so beautiful?
Yeah, lumberjacks. They have lumberjacks and pine trees.
Nacogdoches.
That's right.
It could be incredible. Will be incredible. Is incredible.
Well, it could be done. We take trees, some old timers, your period. I know you want to finish me up, but some old timers here are so used to having trees they don't value them. You and I come from Central Texas and West Texas, and we see this and we say, I like this.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, if you stop cutting things down and you stop mowing grass and cutting trees, and everybody leaves these Nacogdoches, leaves it, there'll be pine trees here in
Back
50
again.
years. They'll come back. They're going to take back over. And so we just have to figure out a way that people and the trees can make this atmosphere. One last thing, look, you go to the rich, wealthy communities in this country, there are trees. You go to the slums where people have given up, they're not trees. That's a fact.
You keep blowing my mind.
Detroit was full of trees, and they were struggling with inner city poverty. But when the Dutch elm disease came through and killed all the elm trees in Detroit, people finally said, okay, we're going to the suburbs.
Yeah.
But we don't name streets elm anymore because the Dutch elm disease took them all.
Mm-hmm.
But the trees, truly, you go to a community that doesn't have trees, and that means there's poverty there.
You need to think about that. There is somebody out there right now that's like going, absolutely, I agree with Jeff. So you live here, maybe outside of Nacogdoches, maybe you live in the country, but skin in the game. Go to him. He has vision, and he can help you shape or get your vision going. There's a lot of tree people in this world, or in our Nacogdoches
We're
world.
not the only tree.
They just don't realize it. I think sometimes they feel like, well, there's just nothing we can do, but they really could.
That's trying.
And so he's going to come back. Thank you so much for coming today. I told you the time would just pass like a minute because we've, telescoped time a little bit here. I always have to remember to say like and subscribe, push that thumbs up, ding the bell. Doesn't cost you any money, but it can make a difference. It can make a difference right here in Made in Nacogdoches. Thank you, Jeff Apt.
There ain't nothing wrong with me that you can't fix. There ain't nothing wrong with me, a little TLC can't lick. I got last year's body, a couple of dents, but there ain't nothing wrong with me that you can't